Breaking today, good evening from where you're watching us from. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Tracy Dorcas. We have a lot in line for you and these are our top stories.
Amekuja na vibunde ya pesa huko. Anataka kwa kanisa. Kwa kanisa amekuja. Fungua na amekuja na ile magunia ya pesa mengia naye ndani ya kanisa.
Walikuwa wanaibia vijana. Sasa wako upinzani wameibia watu wagonjwa kupitia kwa ile inaitwa COVID billionaires.
Deputy President William Ruto hits back at Raila on corruption remarks. In a special feature tonight, we bring you the tales and the silent tears of house helps living with regrets encountered in their lines of duty. The WHO Africa region warns that the new and faster spreading COVID-19 variants are fueling Africa's surging third wave. Well, talk to us via social media platforms as Switch TV Kenya, Joel Chacha M on Twitter, as well on Facebook, Switch TV Kenya and Joel Chacha. Send in an SMS via 111 444 111. We begin with matters politics. Deputy President William Ruto has hit back to corruption allegation remarks made by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga on Saturday, saying that it is Raila who disrupted the Jubilee government after the handshake. Ruto insisting that he will continue attending fundraisers, promising to create funds to help the ordinary Kenyans if elected next president. Daniel Karuki reports on the politics that strongly dominated the podium.
In the second day of scathing attacks being exchanged by the two possible contenders in the race to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta as Kenya's fifth president, Deputy President William Ruto has today asked the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to apologize to Kenyans for disrupting the Big Four agenda after President Uhuru Kenyatta invited them into the government through the handshake.
Mambo ya kitendawili, tuambieni agenda yenu ni gani? Hawajielewi kama wako serikali ama wako upinzani.
DP sentiments, however, being an apophasis to President Uhuru Kenyatta's remarks that he had done more while working with former Prime Minister Raila Odinga than his own deputy, William Ruto.
I have done much more than I was able to do even in my first term. Why?
Mbona munalalamika? Na mimi tayari nilishawasaidia mukapata vyeo kubwa kubwa.
Speaking while attending a church service at the Presbyterian Church of East Africa in Umoja, the Deputy President further hit back alleged corruption remarks made by former Prime Minister Raila Odinga on Saturday, even though he did not mention his name directly.
Amekuja na vibunde ya pesa huko. Anataka kwa kanisa. Kwa kanisa amekuja. Fungua na amekuja na ile magunia ya pesa mengia naye ndani ya kanisa.
Walikuwa wanaibia vijana. Sasa wako upinzani wameibia watu wagonjwa kupitia kwa ile inaitwa COVID billionaires.
Amekuja amejibisha nguo ya kondoo. Anasema mimi nataka kufanya harambee kwa group ya kina mama.
And the same opposition pretends to run lectures on how to fight corruption.
He went on to say that he would continue to help by attending fundraisers in the name of his agenda come the 2022 general elections, where it's crystal he will be in the race to succeed his boss.
Siku ile niliwasaidia wao, mama mboga na kanisa na bodaboda hawakulalamika. Tutatengeneza hazina maalum. Hatutakuwa tunatumia pesa ya kibinafsi kusaidia mama mboga ama bodaboda. Tutaweka pesa ya serikali shilingi bilioni 30.
As we move to next election, let us think twice before we cast our votes.
In his coast tour on Saturday, Odinga said he will arrest and jail all corrupt leaders should he ascend to power in 2022. Odinga in hopes that the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 will succeed, while DP Ruto strongly accused it of only being leader-based. Daniel Kariuki for Switch TV News.
Thank you, Daniel Karaoke. And as political expectations grow high in Ukambani as the region gears up for the president's visit, Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka says that with or without BBI, leaders with integrity issues should not be allowed to occupy any office and they should be disqualified from running for office by IEBC. Musyoka has also dismissed claims by IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati, who had earlier stated that his office has no authority to bar leaders with integrity issues from contesting.
I was miserable when I saw my friend Chebukati. Let me call him my friend because we have become lately able to work together because he's a chairman of the IEBC. Ati amesema that yale majina because I saw anti-corruption commission admitting for the first time that walitoa orodha ya watu leaders over 106 who according to them fell short of the provisions of Article Chapter 6 of the Constitution. On integrity, Constitution 2010 is one of the best anywhere in the world. On the Bill of Rights, on the rights of the individual, but inasema kwamba wewe kama ni mwizi upaswi kuwa kiongozi wa nchi.
Meanwhile, the mountain is in shambles after the declaration of Speaker Justin Muturi's bid to run for the presidency come 2022. This is because renowned businessman Jimmy Wanjigi has also declared his interest for the top seat. Namukana Samuel explains the political dilemma on the mountain.
The Mount Kenya matrix is now getting more complicated. Yesterday, after National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi formally declared his August 2022 presidential bid. Muturi, who met a section of leaders from Embu, Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties, on Saturday said his vision for a united, orderly, developed and disciplined nation will only be realized if he ascended to the highest office in the land to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta.
I will be very, very brief.
On the other hand, renowned businessman Jimmy Wanjigi has also declared an interest to run for the top office come 2022. Wanjigi, who has been a silent actor in Kenya's politics, confirmed that he will be active and will not play the role of a kingmaker anymore. Wanjigi has been a government insider since 2002, when former President Mwai Kibaki got into power. He claimed that he was instrumental in connecting the Grand Coalition government with Chinese contractors, China Road and Bridge Corporation (CRBC).
Uhuru is from Kiambu here. The legislature is led by Muturi, who was crowned the Kikuyu spokesman. Now, tell me where the face of Kenya is, whether at the mountain is the face of Kenya. Now, what do other Kenyans feel? They feel totally left out. They feel, do we belong to this country or not?
His influence, however, remained a secret until 2017 when he revealed that the Jubilee government was created in his home in 2013.
Kwa hivyo siasa ikikuja, waangalie wanasiasa sana. Wasikuja watumiwe vibaya, alafu mtu anakuja atakuwa na nyinyi anakuja tu siku mbili alafu anaenda. Wajue baada ya kila kitu hata siasa ikiisha, tutabaki hapa mashinani.
He disclosed that he hosted both Uhuru and Raila in his home for the sake of peace in Kenya.
Sisi tumesema na tumeamua. Sisi kama hakuna vitendo, hakuna mambo ya kukuja kufungua mdomo wako kwa sisi kutuambia utatufanyia hivi ukiingia.
Muturi and Wanjigi are among several politicians including Deputy President William Ruto and ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi who have declared interest in succeeding President Uhuru Kenyatta. Namukana Samuel, Switch TV.
Away from matters politics and our focus now on Elizabeth Nyambura, who had a very comfortable life as a teacher for 12 years and never dreamt of ever finding herself jobless until March 2020 when the government locked down the country due to COVID-19 and rendered many Kenyans jobless. Here's Majibu Kisau with a story of a teacher who found a new life as a mobile kinyozi after COVID ate up a teaching job but never lost focus in life. Take a look.
Nafanya kazi ya kunyoa mobile from one estate to another.
With children to feed and bills to pay, she had to think of a plan B very fast, and that's how she turned to becoming a mobile kinyozi with only 2 shavers, and now says there's no turning back.
Na ni kazi inanifurahisha sana. Hata kama kazi ya mobile nimekuwa nikifanya tangu COVID ingie. Initially nimekuwa nikifanya kazi ya kufunza, but after COVID na kujipata huna kazi ya kufanya sababu shule zilifungwa, nikajipata sina, otherwise itabidi nifikirie.
Nyambura says that from the business, she's able to take care of her 2 children by paying school fees and other expenses in her home. In a single month, she earns up to 40,000 Kenya shillings. Her clients describe her services as the best, and the fact that she goes to them to offer them makes it even better.
Kuna services zake napenda, especially massage. I can say massage yake ni tofauti na anaifanya na umalifa mwingi sana.
Na kwa hiyo services zake mimi naweza kuwa kusema ya kwamba huzienjoy si kwangu mimi mwenyewe tu, mpaka jamii yangu. Niko na vijana wawili wa fulana ambao pia ni yeye huwanyoa.
Niliweza kufurahishwa na kazi yake na kwamba anaweza kufanyia pia massage vizuri.
Elizabeth further adds that her job has challenges like her safety, as some people might be having bad intentions with her going to their homes might be a trap in a society where kidnappings and disappearances have been on the rise.
Usalama wangu ndio changamoto. Manake utapata kuna watu wana nia mbaya, wanakuita wataki kunyolewa na nia zao. So najipata natumia referrals. For example, ukinitumia mtu huyo nitaenda hata kama simjui sababu wewe ndio umenipea huyo mtu. So sana sana utaona nimelose ama nimepoteza client mzuri sababu nilikuwa na uoga wa kwenda kumhudumia.
Nyambura's big dream is to one day set up a permanent place where all her clients could visit to get her services, and also looks forward to empowering other women to be self-employed in these harsh economic times. Majibu Kizao for Switch TV.
Thank you, Majibu Kisau, for highlighting her story. Meanwhile, Kenya today has recorded 277 new COVID-19 cases from a sample size of 3,796 tested in the last 24 hours. 669 patients have recovered, while 4 patients have succumbed to the disease. This comes amidst the Kenya Medical Research Institute warning that Kenya is likely to experience a 4th wave of COVID-19 infections from mid-July, fueled by the Delta variant that is already dominant in the western part of the country. The Delta variant has attributed to surging numbers of COVID-19 infection cases in some African countries, with experts fearing it may bring disastrous consequences to the continent. Apollo James tells us more.
The World Health Organization Africa region has warned that the new and faster spreading COVID-19 variants are fueling Africa's surging 3rd wave. With case numbers doubling in Africa, focus is fast turning to the new spreading variants.
With the rampant spread of more contagious variants, the threat to Africa rises to a whole new level. Among the 14 African countries now in resurgence, 12 have detected variants of concern, including 9 with the Delta variant. WHO was supporting countries to track variants in coordination with a network of reference laboratories.
The Delta variant is reportedly spreading to a growing number of countries, which has so far been reported in 16 African countries, including 9 with surging cases. In a study highlighting COVID-19 forecast in the next 6 months, WHO predicts the 4th wave will hit the capital Nairobi and the coastal region hard.
Some evidence also suggests that the Delta variant is linked to people experiencing longer or more severe illness. This is consistent with devastating news being reported in countries of scores of patients dying due to a lack of oxygen supplies.
With rising case numbers and hospitalizations, WHO estimates that oxygen demand in Africa could rise above 50%. The WHO has also made a call for everyone to act now and boost preventive measures to stop the emergency from becoming a tragedy. Apollo James, Switch TV.
12 minutes now past 7 p.m. We are due for a short commercial break, but before that, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption, that is EACC, has dismissed reports that it sent any police officers to lawyer John Haminwa in an alleged attempt to intimidate him over his submissions in the BBI appeal case. Of course, that's the latest from EACC in regards to that allegations of actual intimidation there. And after the break, we'll also be having a special feature. You can't afford to miss it. Stay tuned. We are going for a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Breaking Today. My name is Joel Church and our sign language interpreter is Tracy Dorcas. Moving on, a Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency has today flagged off goods worth over 62 million to Dubai as part of preparations for World Expo Dubai 2020, which kicks off in less than 100 days. This is through the World Market Initiative, WMI, a retail opportunity provided by expo organizers to participating countries that will enable exhibitors to sell their unique and authentic products to expo visitors during the 6-month period of the expo. The categories of goods being flagged off include coffee, tea, textiles, furniture, leather, footballs, beauty products, coconut products, soap, sanitizers, and assorted handicrafts. This exercise is being conducted by the agency through Africa Freight Systems Limited that will ensure the country kiosk is well stocked way before a kick-off of the expo that will run from 1st October 2021 to 31st March 2022.
As a country, we are looking at the expo as a very big platform, an avenue where we are going to showcase our opportunities as a country. We are looking at the expo as a platform where, of course, we also want to use this opportunity to entrench our presence in the UAE, not just the UAE, but the wider GCC region. We realize the region has a very big potential in terms of business.
We are glad that you are among the people from the textile and apparel sector that were chosen. So as a brand, we are looking forward to representing Kenya in Dubai 2020 and also just showcasing that we have quality in Kenya and that we are able to tell our fashion story, not just as Kenyans, but also as a country that comes from Africa and tell the African fashion story.
In Kenya, young girls and women are leaving their rural homes in numbers to find menial jobs in big cities like Nairobi. Most of them end up being employed as domestic workers or house helps with very little skills on how to go about their new roles. In a special feature tonight, our reporter Robert Ouma finds the tales and the silent tears of these house helps living with the regrets encountered in their lines of duty. Take a look.
In most cities in Africa, population is rising by day. And the majority of the working class either employs or contracts a domestic worker. These are individuals who work in people's private homes day and night as helpers under their employers' orders. Some of them are young girls who travel from their villages, commonly known as Ushago, to the cities with hopes of transforming their lives and that of their loved ones back at home. However, they say that all glitters is not gold, and for most of them, hope turns into agony and days into months of mistreatment. In this film, we are telling the silent tears of house helps whose identity we won't reveal. My name is Robert Ouma. This is Betty, a firstborn in the family of 6 raised by a single mother. Poverty has forced her out of their rural home in Kisii to Nairobi to fend for her helpless family.
Wazazi walituacha tukiwa wadogo, so nimelelewa na single mother. Sasa challenges ilikuwa ndugu zangu wasome, maisha haikuwa mazuri vile. Mama alikuwa apitia mambo mingi. Upande wa kusomesha, school fees, rent, tulikuwa tunaishi kwa rental ikakuwa shida. So nikaamua afadhali niache masomo, niende mjini, nikatafute kazi, nisaidie ndugu zangu. At least hao wafike mbele.
The situation is not different for Molly, this 20-year-old orphan lady.
Kwetu sisi tuko wawili, hatuna wazazi, ikabidi nikuje nifanye hii job, bro wangu aende shule.
Jude is a mother of 1. She's struggling to make ends meet to find a life for her 10-year-old son.
Watoto wangu niliashia mama yangu ndio niweze kukuja. Juu hata naye baba yangu alikufanga. Sasa imebidi niache watoto huko juu hata mimi nikuje nitafute kitu. Juu hata naye mama yangu hana uwezo. Sasa sikuwa na otherwise.
Some of these girls and women say that they get these jobs from their friends, strangers or even relatives who later cut off communication with them.
Sasa ilibidi nikajipata tu natafuta. Nikakutana na mama mmoja akaniambia kuna mtu anahitaji msichana wa kazi. Then nikaanza kazi, tukafanya vizuri, lakini wakati wa kwanza wiki ya kwanza ya pili alikuwa mzuri. Lakini ilifika wakati alianza kubadilika.
Auntie yangu ndiye aliniconnect.
Na anajua uko huko size ya
anajua niko huko. Namwambianga shida napitia, ananiambia nitulie juu sina pale pa kwenda nifanye kazi, niangalie life ya bro wangu venye itakuwa.
Some of them live in slums, marred by crime, and they are forced to bear the cold mornings and late nights to beat time. Only the fortunate ones find a space in the employer's home. It is estimated that 1 million domestic workers are in Nairobi alone. Even though they make little money here and there for survival, they claim that sometimes the little they get are through very painful experiences.
Nikamwambia hapana, hata huku ameningwala, akaniambia nitakunyonga leo kama hautakubali hiyo maneno.
Wasi nilifika wakati hata inabidi akitoka ikiwezekana anifunge aniache nje. Kuna ile nyumba ya nje hiyo kidogo. Unabaki huko, wakikuja ndio at least ukule ama upitie upate kukula kitu. Lakini ukishinda pale saa zingine unashinda njaa, lakini kazi anapata umefanya.
Juu tumeishi tukiteseka, sasa ikabidi ikabidi tu nikuje kwa hii job. Huwa tena sometime inabidi inatamani kuacha hii kazi juu baba wa hii nyumba sometime anakuja anakuambia bibi yake amtosheleshi kimapenzi, huwa bibi yake amechapa. So sasa mimi sometime najiuliza kama bibi yake amemtumia amemfanya hivyo, pia mimi atanifanyia the same thing, anitumia niache. Juu anataka tu anitumie na niache. Ananifuatilianga tufanye na yeye kimapenzi, huwa na mimi sitaki. Sometimes huwa ananiforce, ananifuata nikikuja kutandika bed, huwa ananifuata, lakini mimi sina feelings za kulala naye.
Mama alikuwa ametoka ameelekea kazini na mume alikuwa live. Sasa ilikuwa wakati mgumu sana, manake kile wakati alikuwa akiniuliza anataka hivi urafiki kimapenzi, nilikuwa nashinda nikimkanya. Lakini ilifika mahali alingangana ni kama ni kuninajizi.
Long working hours, mistreatment and abuse are their daily encounters.
Na mimi sasa ikifika siwezi amka saa 10 na nilale saa 5 na akatae na pesa yangu. Hata huyo mtoto naweza enda na yeye anitafute na yeye hata. Nimwambie kama hautanipea pesa yangu hakuna mtoto. Vitu zingine hata zinafanyikaga tu juu ya hawa mama kubeba wafanyikazi vibaya. Juu hakuna vile unaweza fanyia mtu kazi yote, alafu tena ikifika ni malipo hakuna. Si utabeba huyo mtoto na uende na yeye. Utaenda na yeye kama hata hautamuua, lakini utaenda na yeye.
Mimi ndio mwenye kupika na mimi ndio mwenye kusavu. Vyakula yote yenye ilibaki ilipelekwa kwa fridge. Pale nilianza kujiuliza nitaishi aje? Unafanya mema, unashughulika, lakini maisha si mazuri, maisha ni magumu. Nilipitia challenges hadi nikatamani nitoke kwa hiyo nyumba, but singeweza kutoka. Manake nikitazama nyuma nilikotoka, sina makao kule, sina amani, mama yohitaji msaada. Ndugu wanahitaji kusaidika, but inabidi tu navumilia pale.
83% of domestic workers in Kenya are paid below the minimum wage rate required.
They have a right to a minimum wage, which is set by the government, which in Kenya, it is categorized in towns and different from the towns, cities, and the rural setup. So if you're coming to work within the cities of Kenya, which is Nairobi, Kisumu, and Mombasa, your salary minimum should be 13,572 shillings. If you're working in the towns, then this should be 12,572 shillings. But if you're working in the rural setup, then that is going to be 7,000 and something on top.
In the recent past, cases of domestic workers assaulting or abusing their bosses' children have reportedly been on the rise in the country. But who is to blame?
Mimi kwangu naona ni mzazi, ni mwajiri. Kwa vile labda ni mkali na mfanyakazi, hataki kumuelewa, hataki kumsikia, hampi freedom of speech, freedom ya kujiexpress, lazima atakuwa mkali. Lazima atakuwa na ile hasira na atakuficha, hata kuambia kwa vile wewe hauko free na yeye, hata kuambia ni nini inamsumbua. Sasa itakuwa build up, atakuwa na build hiyo hasira kwa roho, anakaa nayo rohoni na ata-express kwa watoto wako.
You see, with this job, as much as it's a job like any other, but it's a different job. This is someone you've entrusted with your home, with your children, and your family. So you have to be very careful, and you also have to form a friendship with that person.
Irene Nelima is a co-founder of a Center for Domestic Training and Development. People working in private homes play a vital economic role, but hardly recognized, according to Irene.
Workload is huge, and again, you're being paid very little money. And another thing, as a nation now, I think if we ratify the Convention 189, ILO, I think it's going to solve a lot of problems with domestic work and domestic workers in Kenya, because that one is specific to domestic workers.
Even though there's a bond built on trust and respect, it's just as complicated as many other jobs. Most of them live with hope that life is a season and this will change.
Najua siku moja Mungu atafungua njia, nitaishi, nitapata mtu mzuri, tutaelewana.
Mami, achukua hiyo sasa twende. Imetosha.
My name is Robert Oma, and this is the silent tears of househelps.
Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Cedric Oronji, and it's a good day for sports. Now, to start us off, goalkeeper Gad Matthews saved 2 spot kicks as God